Displaced residents of a destroyed nursing home in Yates Center find shelter in other facilities. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, the Family Resource Center adds a new facility in Pittsburgh. Plus, displaced residents of a destroyed nursing home in Yates Center find shelter in other Southeast Kansas facilities. And advice on how to handle home insurance during severe weather season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good news for those looking for child care in the area, as Pittsburgh has added to the Family Resource Center. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Anthony Saviello joins us with details.
I'm standing in the koala room of the newest facility for the Family Resource Center. I spoke with the facility's director about how this new building will help with childcare in the area.
3, 2, 1, cut!
A ribbon cut as access to health care in Pittsburgh expands.
So we'll just deal with everything as it comes. So we're super excited to be able to offer more.
In addition, several years in the making.
Super excited. Yes, we've been waiting for this many hours, many days, months, years for the administration and the board. So very super excited. Cannot wait till Monday to get here so we can get those babies and kids and in the doorways.
Despite the addition, there are still things parents should think about when trying to get childcare.
If you're thinking of having a child or you're first pregnant, you need to get on a waiting list somewhere, whether it's a home provider or a center provider, whatever a parent chooses. But it takes sometimes 12 months to be able to get into somewhere because of the way kids go. So they need to think early and plan.
With the new facility's location on the Mercy Hospital campus, there will be a percentage of slots set aside for hospital staff.
They just have a certain amount of slots, so they will have a percentage of slots over here open for them, and then we'll have the rest community slots.
Site Director Jessica Carrier says the Family Resource Center already provides high-quality care for children, and this new facility now provides a way to make that care more accessible. For families looking for child care, applications for this facility and the bigger Family Resource Center facility are now open. But for now, I'm Anthony Saviello in Pittsburgh, Kansas, KOAM News.
That new facility is funded by a $1.6 million grant from the state of Kansas. Crawford County Commissioners also granted a portion of ARPA funding totaling more than $288,000. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a much colder day for us today as we dropped into the 30s during the afternoon. Now, we had a midnight high of 69, but by dawn, we were in the 60s, and then we dropped through the 50s, 40s, 30s very quickly. Outside right now, it's 35 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh. Still those northerly winds, they're coming down a little bit, but still sustained 15 to 20, and we're still getting gusts 30 to 40. The gusts will drop back near 20 as we get into the morning hours, which is good. Now, temperatures are setting into the mid-30s. We have some light rain, light snow showers rotating through. Temperatures are above freezing, so this should not become an issue whatsoever. And this is all going to rotate out of here once we get past midnight for us tonight. Chilly day for us tomorrow. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catching a few of those high winds, they've grounded planes looking to help fight fires in Oklahoma as the wildfire risk in that state continues. Officials say that means any potential new fires will have to be handled without using air support, like so-called super scooper planes. But the Oklahoma Forestry Service says pilots are ready to be deployed once conditions improve.
We are trained on this at an early age in the Wildland Fire Service that if you base the success of your operation on aircraft, you're already failing. So it's a luxury and work continues.
Wildfires that sparked on Friday killed 4 people and injured 200 across Oklahoma. In the wake of Friday's fire at Yates Center Health and Rehab, the community is showing an outpouring of support. The fire destroyed the facility and displaced the 38 residents staying there. Local sister facilities of Yates Center Health and Rehab opened their doors to welcome residents. including Oswego Health and Rehab, Pittsburgh Health and Rehab, and others. The Pittsburgh location has accepted 7 residents from Yates Center.
Extremely grateful that we have this opportunity as well, that we can help out our sister facility. We all came together as a team. That's what we are, as one big family under Mission Health.
McLeod asks that the public hold off on donations for now while they go through what they've already received. She says there are plans for Yates Center Health and Rehab to rebuild. As we enter severe weather season, homeowners are encouraged to review their insurance policies. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with an expert about what you need to know.
Yeah, we've had several big limbs come down.
Randy Storm is a Joplin resident. He says, like many others, the winds are powerful these days.
Storm has just taken trees, the dust and stuff, and coming around. And we've been fortunate. We haven't had any roof damage yet.
And that's good for Mr. Storm, but our extreme weather conditions have created fire hazards in addition to wind damage for others. Chase Kraft from Kraft Insurance wants to remind homeowners to check their insurance policies and make sure they're covered.
A lot of people believe that their coverages are different than it actually is, or their homes aren't insured for how much they probably should be right now.
And according to Kraft, he says you should check it with a fine-tooth comb.
If there's a hailstorm, you might have a $5,000 deductible, when if you just had a fire, you might only have a $1,000 deductible.
And there's more.
You have a 5% deductible and you have a $100,000 house, well, it's a $5,000 deductible regardless of the size of the claim.
Both Kraft and Storm says regardless of the price, home insurance is needed. Well, for the most part.
You can go and buy another one tomorrow. You probably are wasting your money by insuring it.
It's went up. Just this bill went up like $40, but you can't go without it. I mean, there's just too much.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Kraft says although premiums can increase because of certain claims, fire and theft have the least amount of impact on premium renewals. He says wind and hail can increase your rate, but not dramatically since those are not the customer's fault. As the impact of tariffs loom, a small business owner in Joplin expresses concerns. Her story is coming up. Plus, families looking for help with their heating bills turn out to the Pittsburgh Public Library today.
Visit BourbonCountyCars.com.
Small business in Joplin is among those bracing for potential impacts of recently imposed tariffs. This comes as President Trump places tariffs on goods from several countries, citing a desire to crack down on illegal drugs crossing the border. The owner of Augusta Bridal in Joplin says many goods from the bridal industry come from China, which currently has a 20% tariff. She says many business owners weren't prepared for the change and the tariffs will have a big impact on price.
I've been so encouraging to my brides and telling them get in sooner rather than later, because I don't know, come December, I could be having to pass that tariff on to the customer.
Tariffs are just one part of President Trump's America First trade policy. In a statement, President Trump says his policy promotes investment and productivity, enhances U.S. industrial advantages, and defends economic and national security. Members of the Trump administration continue declining to predict if the U.S. will go into a recession. They forecast a transitional period with potential economic pain. President Trump says his new tariffs will be worth it in the end, creating a better future for Americans. As Amy Kiley reports, many economists say they'd prefer to avoid a downturn altogether.
They're sort of making excuses and stories about a bad economy when we don't yet have a bad economy.
Experts say it's not too late to avoid inflation and a potential economic slowdown. That's despite a grim new forecast and warnings like these from the Trump administration.
There are no guarantees.
Between now and April 2nd, there'll be some uncertainty.
April 2nd is when President Donald Trump says he'll unveil sweeping new tariffs. He says they'll offer negotiating leverage, protection for some domestic industries, and a response to trade deficits.
It's a liberation day for our country, because we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that we so foolishly gave up to other countries.
A new report from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development paints a grimmer outlook. It predicts if U.S. businesses end up paying more tariffs, that would lead to price hikes for American consumers and a slower U.S. economy. But note that word if.
A lot of the fundamentals are still in pretty good shape.
It's almost as if the Trump economic team has accepted that bad things are going to happen.
The president says he won't back down on tariffs. Other countries say they're working on retaliatory measures and trade deals that don't involve the U.S. But economists point out it's not April 2nd yet.
That's kind of a self-created crisis. I feel like that could be pretty easily reversed if needed.
I'm Mimi Kiley reporting.
Today, the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged despite the Fed's belief inflation will slightly rise by the end of the year, unemployment will take up, and the overall economy will slow down. Today, a low-income energy assistance event at the Pittsburgh Public Library helped those struggling with their winter heating bills. Staff from the Kansas Department for Children and Families provided application assistance. This event offered an opportunity to get help before those winter bills stack up.
Every year, I believe my team has 42 events this year around the state. Generally, we come to libraries because they have the computers that we can use. Some of these people are very computer literate, and we just kind of coach them on what this means and where you need this and why you need your spouse's Social Security number because they live in the house.
If you need help with your energy bills, we provided a link to sign up for assistance in this article on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. A little later, a liberal Missouri standout receives high honors for her work on the court. John Dales has more on the Bulldog named to All-State coming up in sports.
Plus, it stays chilly on your Thursday, but the winds calm down, which is good news. We're going to look at that coming up.
Help the Joplin PD.
Only at Ashley.
Well, of course, a much colder day for us today. We started near 70. We ended up right now just a few notches above freezing, and it looks like we're going to sit right around freezing throughout the overnight hours. We've had some light showers, light sleet showers, a little bit of light snow mixing in. That's what we continue to have out there right now and will continue to have over the next couple hours, and then all this is going to move out. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. It's about 35, 40 degrees colder than we were this time last night. Look at the light rain. Look at the light snow. It's not a big deal. Temperatures a little above freezing. It was 80 yesterday, so the ground is warm and it's not coming down hard enough to really even stick to the grass. You may see a few white little patches, but most of this is going to push out of here here in about the next 2 hours. Better chances to get a little whiteness on the grass is going to be in our far eastern counties and then heading over near Springfield. But this light wintry mix rotates out later on tonight. Then we look okay. The winds will continue to slowly decrease. Still northwest winds sustained at about 15 to 20. And we're still getting gusts. Let's see here. Let's look at the last few hours. Kind of in that 30, 35, 40 degree range. But now most of the gusts over the past hour kind of 25 to 30. They should be near 20 by morning and then drop all the way back near calm during the evening hours. But look at this. They crank back up as we get into Friday. Southerly winds, gusts 30 to 40, not as strong as what we have seen during the daytime hours today. Most of us mid-30s across the board. Let's go outside. Currently, we're sitting at 35. Northerly winds at about 20, gusts near 30. Look at this big upper level low. So on the back side, we have those bands of snow, but look at the storms. We had severe weather all the way through parts of Ohio, all the way down through Kentucky and Tennessee. And the reason the winds have been so strong is because our area of low pressure, our upper level low right here, is so strong. So the winds are cranking around it. The farther it gets away from us, the more the winds go down. So we want it to move right on out of here. All right, let's go through time hour by hour. We'll start with a few clouds in the morning. Here's 6 a.m. Let's go to the noon hour, upper 40s, plenty of sunshine. Let's go into the afternoon. Here's 4:30, 53 in Lamar, 54 in Anderson, 55 in Miami. Parsons up to about 55, so about 5 or 6 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. We get some clouds in here by Friday morning, but look at this. Temps shoot into the mid-60s by Friday afternoon. Thursday, day plan at 44 by noon. High temp only 53, but again, 60s return Friday, 60s return on Saturday. Saturday night, some showers, some thunderstorms working in. These should not be too strong or severe, but of course, we'll keep our eyes on it. 53 on Thursday, 66 on Friday, 67 Saturday. Those morning thunderstorms on Sunday. A little bit cooler Monday, but overall, all of next week also temperatures looking pretty good.
Looking forward to that. The Netflix documentary on the Joplin tornado called The Twister Caught in the Storm was released today. I'm sure many of you have seen it already. A lot more of you will see it in the days ahead. It features our own Doug Hetty. You were interviewed for that documentary.
Yeah.
It revolves largely around some young people in Joplin who survived the storm and the traumatic experience of that. A lot of footage that was actually shot during the tornado from inside the tornado. It is thrilling. It's going to be very disturbing, gripping for a lot of people. Probably some people who would want to see this might feel otherwise as they're actually viewing it if they were actually part of that.
Yeah, and you know, there's, as we know, there's so many aspects to this story that we could have seen anywhere in the documentary. It could have been a docu-series with many parts, but yeah, this was mainly just focused around kind of young people, and now that they're in their 30s. And the interview itself, at least for me, it was very difficult to do. I did it last summer, and I had no idea how the documentary was going to come out, so I saw it for the first time this morning.
Well, everybody outside of the producers saw it for the first time
Very
today.
true.
You did a great job with that.
I appreciate
You represented
it.
us well. A lot of the scenes we see were from the night of the tornado, your role right here in this studio, and it also featured Chad Crilly, who was the 13-year-old aspiring weatherman who was shadowing you at that time.
Now he's a meteorologist, 26 years old, and professional storm chaser.
And I'm sure your influence is a big part of the reason he's pursuing that. Doug, thanks. Still ahead, Pitt State softball tries to win its 9th game in a row, and a liberal Bulldog receives all-state honors in basketball. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Pittsburgh State softball is back in the top 25. The Gorillas are ranked 25th in the country in the most recent Division II coaches poll, and they're riding an 8-game winning streak entering a doubleheader in Springfield today. It's a windy afternoon over in Springfield. Pitt State takes on Drury. Gorillas in some trouble in the first inning. Bases are loaded, and Ava Laurent forces a grounder to third. Batter out at first, but a run will score. Laurent then strikes out the next batter. That minimizes the damage. Gorillas down 1. In the third inning, bases are loaded again with 2 outs. Laurent with another strikeout to escape the jam. To the fourth, runner on first, 2 out. Heather Arnett makes the play at short. PSU gets out of trouble once again. Now to the 6th, Gorilla down by 2. No hits at this point. Kendall Forbes first walks, then Heather Arnett gets hit by a pitch. Pitt State with something brewing, and Elena Rushing gets the first hit of the day. It's a big one. It will tie it at 2. Caden Trokim is the next one up, and she'll reach base as well after a fielding error at third. So the Gorillas with a chance to capitalize, and they do. Amaya Snyder finds the gap in the outfield. It's a bases clearing double. It puts PSU in front 4-2, but that's where the Gorillas' good luck runs out. Drury ties it in the 6th, then walks it off in extra innings. Final score 5-4. Second game doesn't go any better for the Gorillas. They lose 9-1, so they get swept in the doubleheader by the Panthers. Pittsburgh State held to just 3 hits in this game compared to 8 from Drury. PSU will try and shake this one off before another couple of doubleheaders this weekend. First against Washburn, that's Saturday, and then against Emporia State on Sunday. Switching gears to basketball, Liberal High School senior and NEO commit Taylor Swarns receives all-state honors today. This comes as the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association releases its all-state teams for classes 1 through 3. Swarns helped lead the Lady Bulldogs to a trip to the state Final Four in 2024. That was when she was a junior. That season, she was also an all-state honoree. And it's day 2 of the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament. In Dayton, we've got 2 more play-in games tonight before the round of 64 starts tomorrow. First game of the night is between a couple 16 seeds. Mount St. Mary's beats American 83-72. Mountaineers won the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference tournament to get here. Their season, it continues at least for another couple of days. They'll face 1 seed and ACC champion Duke in the round of 64. That's Friday afternoon. After that game, Xavier taking on Texas. This one's been back and forth. Longhorns led by as much as 13 earlier on, but as we come on the air, they're in the final minutes of the second half. Xavier leads by 2, 80-78. Whoever wins that one will face 6 seed Illinois on Friday night. Kind of ease us into it these first couple of nights. We've had 2 games last night, 2 games tonight. Tomorrow is where the college basketball junkies really get their fix, though. 16 games across the country, and then we do it all over again on Friday.
And so the madness begins.
It does.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a new career?
Hey, it's almost here. Tomorrow marks the first day of spring. The first official day of the season represents the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. That's when the sun aligns with the equator. While some regions might still see a late season chill, the promise of blooming gardens, outdoor adventures, patio season is finally here, or right around the corner anyway. You can celebrate the day with a picnic, a stroll through the park, or just by cracking open a window and enjoying some fresh air, but maybe not so much tomorrow because it's still going to be kind of chilly out there. The warmer weather is on the way, though.
It is. It is going to be chilly tomorrow. Temperatures only into the 50s. 66 on Friday, 67 on Saturday. Unfortunately, the winds come back a little bit on Friday.
Final sports note.
Last week we were over at Carthage for the unveiling of their new baseball stadium. They play their first game there tomorrow afternoon, Carthage against East Newton.
That is exciting for all those Carthage fans, for sure. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.